The master has failed more than the beginner has ever tried. Let that sink in for a minute and understand that your first 2 to 3 years of PDR are going to be rough. Sometimes you'll look online and see people doing crazy repairs and wonder how the hell. But what has not been shown is the fact that behind every one of those crazy repairs, there's probably a failure one of these techs can tell you that made him learn how to do it. Believe me, the failures never stopped. I whipped out some from just this year. So, what we came up with is I suspect that the body line portion of this is gonna pop. I'm going to avoid it because if you notice in the video, there's a deeper section down this way. If I pop all of this up, I'm gonna tighten this area because it's not gonna wanna move. So instead of doing the easy route, the thing that you might think you should do first, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to relieve some pressure in this deepest, crunchiest, gnarliest part here. Okay, so the reason I'm gonna go ahead and do that instead of just popping everything up, which might seem like the natural answer, is because I don't wanna tighten up this crunchy bit over here. So I'm gonna work on the crunchy bit and then get that pop. Now I don't have to get it all the way out, I just need it to come up a bit. Let's skip ahead a bit here because this dent isn't necessarily what this video is about. Today we're looking at fails and failure and how to deal with it. Now, I will do a complete breakdown of this dent on realworldpdr.com, but you've probably figured out right now, wasn't that successful. For everyone serious about learning PDR, this might be the most important video you'll watch this year. It's a little long and meandering, but you will learn something. Hey, what's going on? Here we are after I have done what I can do with this dent. Now, from your angle, maybe this looks pretty good, but the fact of the matter is, I failed. Now, I didn't fail so bad that the customer is not gonna be happy. He is. Now, I know a lot of you are probably thinking, well, hell, Jim, that's not so bad. And you're right, it's not so bad. It's still something I can deliver. I still saved this door, but it's just not the quality that I expect coming out of my shop. Now, I did tamper this customer's expectations quite a bit because I've done this a million times. I've seen when this works really well, and I've seen when this turns out like this. But you know where that knowledge came from? Me failing a bunch of times. And it never feels good to fail. I'm not proud of this. I'm not super stoked that it happened, but let me tell you this is not ending my PDR career. I saw a post on another group the other day, guy talking about he is his first year into PDR, he's got this problem, and he just sounds so down. And I commented on it, and what I said was, hey man, if you're gonna get like this every single time that you fail a dent while doing PDR, you are not gonna be around for very long. What did you learn? Take that knowledge and apply it to the next one. So what did I learn here? Well, Woody, who has been doing this job for half as long as I have, important footnote, we'll talk about that later, showed me a way to use the hot box to clean up some of this texture a little bit faster. Guess what? I take that knowledge with me forever. I would have started that 4 hours ago had I known that trick. So next time, I will. So this isn't a failure. I just succeeded in learning how to use this hot box appropriately. Also succeeded in knowing that if my head's all messed up, I should probably do something about it instead of wallow in my office. So let's talk about your relationship with failure, because one thing I've noticed about a few people I've talked to is that it's a really piss poor relationship. We are not retreating, we are advancing in another direction. Let that one sink in too. Let me know, this video is incredibly hard to make. Why? Because everybody wants to be the guy that always knows what's right, always does things perfect, and never messes a thing up. Well, that's not really true, and I think everybody has seen enough of that. So here's the reality. Today we're gonna take a look at a bunch of dents that I have failed just this year. Now, some of those I was able to turn around, some of them I wasn't. But this is reality, people. This is a real world PDR. Everybody, even my heroes, the people that I watch the same way you're watching me now, fail and continue to fail and have failed and will fail. But the difference between a successful PDR tech and somebody who dabbles and fails in this is your attitude. If you fail and you just let a failure be a failure, that's all it'll ever be. If you fail and you let that failure be a lesson, well, you're that much better for the next day. Good talk, that's boring, let's roll. Okay, let me point out one thing. This isn't all of my failures this year. This is just the ones that were easiest to find in my photo album. There's more, and some of them are gonna surprise you. Alright, let's start off slow. First off is this little beaut on the back of this Chrysler minivan. Now, I've done things like this before, but look at that. First pull. Legitimately, first action I took on this dent, pulled off like a 4-inch by 1-inch section of paint, just like that. It like ripped. Now I knew this, but this was a good reminder, don't trust Chrysler paint in a glue pull situation. So we put some touch-up paint on this, and all things considered, not terrible. In fact, I was even able to use this as one of the 5 examples to get my ARC Master certification. Why? Because real technicians who do this every day for a living, especially Smashwork, knows this kind of thing happens. Similar thing happened here. This is on the YouTube channel. I titled it Glue Pull Gone Batter. Now, I didn't pay enough attention and notice that this had previous body work done to it. I could sit around and try to blame anything. It was good body work, but fact of the matter is, I should have looked harder. Tough mistake to make, but everything's got to be a learning experience. Never ever presume to let me tell you how to live your personal life. Those closest to me will tell you that mine could use some work. But as far as this business goes, I may not be the richest, I may not be the most accomplished, but there's not a whole lot of them that intimidate me, and a lot of it has to do with my willingness to say yes, a positive mental attitude, and a good relationship with failing. And then you have some like this. So, pretty straightforward. You guys have seen me fix dents that are way worse than this. I took this on as a wholesale job, not thinking it was gonna be too bad. Stand up top there, but there we are. So right in, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Right in there. Get a little wet sand, but check this out. That little motherfucker. I used all these tools, every last one of these. All of these tools. Through the factory opening right there. I can't get to that thing. And the paint's out of the middle. Why the fuck not, right? Jesus. Just to reiterate, there are a lot more fails this year. These are the ones I could find. Now this one here kind of looks like a grumpy old man if you look at it right. So definitely bit gnarly, definitely wrapped around an intrusion bar, but main man Bryce Kelly, he posted one that looked similar to this a couple days before, and I was like, well, I'm gonna take it. So I may be in the chase, but I am not the dent Jesus yet. Look at this, that hump would not go down for anything. Now this isn't something that just kind of humped up and I gave up on. This is hours later. You see here, so many hours trying to get that thing to smooth out, to stop canning. Oh God. But as I've progressed in this industry, I have learned to fail a bit more gracefully. So I can make this look as good as it possibly can, but I was not able to fix that. That being said, I have found that if you are completely honest with yourself and you can honestly say you gave it your best effort, there's no shame at the end of the day. But this one came not too long after that. Now this was gnarly. I had a lot of myself devoted to this one. It seemed to have the perfect scenario of all the individual pieces were repairable, so I was going to give it my best shot. Now, the toughest part on this I thought was going to be this. This is the swirly, locked-in tornado of bullshit. And while that did suck, come to find out, wasn't the toughest piece of this puzzle. Now, when you're looking at Smashwork like this, learn to say no. For me, it's the challenge a lot of time. It's not really about the money anymore. I just want to see if I can. So here's where I ended up. You can see some stitching in there, but where I spent the majority of my time was the very edge of this. I even got a hold of Bryce to see if he had any advice. Right there. Could not get this thing to come up clean. Now, that being said, this is, while I'm delivering this vehicle, the customer was extremely happy, but there is some waves, some rounded stuff, what have you. I'm not ashamed of what happened here. It's just I spent a lot of time videotaping, what have you, and I could not show it. So here are some more glorious F-ups. This one might come as a bit of a surprise. If you're on Real World, you might recognize this one. And if you're already a hail tech, you might look at this right now from this angle and be like, that's not so bad. Wait, there we go. That's it. So it was actually like 3, 4, 5 bombs, and it was the size of a flippin' basketball or better, all on aluminum and all on a damn Chevy Colorado. Why did nobody warn me about this aluminum? Hey, guess what? I did fix this though, but I was so exhausted at the end of it, I looked at the rest of the hood, kicked it. Not worth doing anymore. So this got a new hood on it. Kind of let my ego get in the way on that one, but I try to keep that bad boy in check. So let's go to story time. It's about having balls. This is a good quote. Change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. Think about that. I get so many emails about people thinking about doing PDR, scared they're gonna fail. You know what? You don't want it that bad. Here's a quick story for you. So, my wife and I decided to open up a bar because we like drinking, right? We tried it. We dumped a whole bunch of money into it. Now, I'm gonna get to the end of this. It wasn't for us. I was working too hard for not enough money. We didn't necessarily fail, but by all intents and purposes, we failed. I'm not laying on my deathbed wondering, hey, should I have opened that bar? Hell no. I don't regret a thing about it. Now I know the bar business, not for me. Don't care. I think all told, I ended up losing like 15,000 bucks. You know what I don't miss today? 15,000 bucks. The experience I gained with that was invaluable. I learned all kinds of shit, mainly that I don't want to be a bar owner. So have some nuts. If you're scared of failing, well, pretty much take a look around you, and that's where you're stuck. Good point, handsome. You're gonna find out that this industry has no cap. It rewards sacrifice, dedication. If you're unhappy in your position, do something. What's the worst that can happen? You're gonna go broke? I've been broke, you've been broke, it didn't kill you. Every successful guy I know in this industry has sacrificed something, whether it be exorbitant amounts of time. I left a really great paying job just to live a dream of being self-employed. On the Hail Trail, I missed events, I missed time with my family, all kinds of things, but if you want it that bad, that's gonna be worth it to you. This is the one I'm gonna call the shocker. You may recognize this dent. This is the dent that, had it not been for a mid-competition rule change, would have won the tactical big dent competition, ended up getting second, no shame in that game. Well, that doesn't really sound like a failure, but what you don't know is 3 of these exact same dents. I failed previous to this one. Now, the funny thing about this, it's always an Equinox, it's always a lady that's driving it, and it's always the same way that damage happens. In every single one of these dents previous to this, I had absolutely failed, and I had that in the back of my mind when I started this one. I was determined to not let this dent win again. Now, I had tried what I thought was everything previous to this with my failures before. This wasn't going well. Nothing I was trying was working again. It wasn't till the end of the first night I worked on this that I had an epiphany walking out the door about how to repair this damage. And now that this video's gone up, I will show that at realworldpdr.com. Now the thing is, you can't just get to pushing on this gate. It doesn't work. Glue pulls, nope. All of that ends up with something like this. This was about the lowest I had gotten on this dent. Nothing was moving beyond that. But I stuck with it, put my new plan into place the next day, and this is what we came up with. I'm extremely proud of this one. All told, there's a little bit of roundness to it, but from where I was here to where I ended up, I'm gonna say that's damn fine work. Now the thing is, the technique that I discovered for this is not difficult, but it took those 3 previous failures on this exact dent to be able to win, finally. This one was even worse than the previous 3. All I needed was a small mind shift and to get out of my loser mentality thinking that I had already been defeated by this dent. The guys that work for me at the shop were staying way clear of me because I was having such a rough time. I was chucking tools, all kinds of things. I needed to calm the hell down, clear my mind, and that night is when I got the answer. Now, hey look, I'm not only failing on big things, I could not get this to fix either. So don't think that it's just big rock star shit that sometimes experienced techs fail on. This doesn't look like it would have been difficult. Didn't even bother to take in-process shots because I was sure it was gonna be fine. It wasn't. Let's talk about the ego real quick. Lose it. Get rid of it. It's useless. Here's a fact. Woody's been doing this job half as long as I have, but he gave me this valuable piece of information. If my ego was too big to accept that information, I would have missed out on a great technique. But the thing is, that's nothing. I've had 1-year techs get a hold of me with a valuable piece of information that I didn't know. If my ego was too big to accept that, I'd have missed a great tip that makes my job easier and me better as a tech. The same note, I'm gonna call him out by name, Ray Sapnew, a 20-something year tech got a hold of me after watching one of my videos and said, man, that's awesome. I've been doing it like this for 20 years. Your way made it slightly better for me. He would have been able to fix the dent either way, but my way was just a little cleaner. That's a tech that does not have an ego. That's a tech who's ready to learn and just wants to be the best he can. What follows from this moment in time is probably the most important part of this video. Let me tell you, it is not censored. I did not bleep out anything. These are my thoughts. I was going to turn this into a different video, but I thought this combines so well because of this reason. The people with piss poor attitudes towards failure are often the people with piss poor outlooks on life that have a million excuses. So what you're getting ready to see is a bunch of clips that were meant for another video, but I decided to tack it onto this one. This is the good stuff. Enjoy. Okay, working in my shop again tonight, having some thoughts. So our trainee Wallaby John, he just left. He left us, he went back to Australia, and I'm gonna miss this little guy. Sacrifice. If you sacrifice in this industry, you can and you will succeed. Wallaby John is a perfect example of this. So Wallaby John worked 3 jobs to support his family. He saw the training, came here, scrimped and saved, and came all the way to the US from Australia to have some training time with me. I am flattered, I am humbled, and I can tell you what, even if Wallaby had not come here, Wallaby is gonna be successful. Here's a man that has no excuses. He works 3 jobs and still finds time every night to practice PDR. Wallaby was way more advanced than he even thought that he was. Everything was in his head. He just needed to get under his fingertips, and we gave him that opportunity. And guess what? The first big fender that I gave him turned out kind of eh. On his last day here, I kicked a fender and he nailed it. It's perfect. But everything was already up here. He just needed to get in here. Wallaby John is a perfect example of what a future successful PDR tech looks like. So a lot of times I'll talk to people and they'll say, well, you know, I can't do this because of this, this, and this. I'm like, okay, well, counterpoint, what about this? Well, I can't do that because of, listen, those type of people, excuses aren't like assholes. Everybody's got one of those. This type of people always have multiple. It's always something. They're always trying to circumvent your solution with an excuse that they can give to be lazy, is what it comes down to, honestly. Short of serious health problems, if you're not training, it's your own fault. One of my favorite questions to ask people like that, nonchalantly, you gotta do this casually. Hey, oh yeah, no, I completely get it. You can't practice because, you know, you work late at night. I get it, yeah, okay. Hey, have you seen Game of Thrones? Everybody's seen Game of Thrones, but if they haven't, it doesn't matter. Okay, then what's your favorite TV show? They'll tell you XYZ. Sweet, what are you doing? Why aren't you practicing during the time that you're watching Game of Thrones? Well, work and home life balance, that's fine. If you prefer to have a great work to home life balance, cool, that's your preference. But let me tell you, you don't want it that bad. I don't have to feel bad for that, but don't get a hold of me looking for me to excuse you for being lazy. You're not putting in the effort. So this ties into this video because that is a failure on your part, and frankly, I don't really want to hear it. So I get very frustrated with these people because I will offer hands, I will talk to these people personally, and I get emails from them all the time. I will try, I will put myself out there, I will offer to do work for them, offer them advertising, whatever it is, and they always try to circumvent me with bullshit fucking excuses, and those type of people have no business in the PDR industry unless they can change their brain. Because I talked to Casper and Woody tonight, I can't think of a single person who has put in the appropriate amount of sacrifice, hard work, leg work, hit the streets, done whatever has to be done that has failed PDR. Everybody that works like me and Casper, they're all doing really, really well. So that's your decision. I can't instill that in you. Because you have giants like Wallaby, and then I've met guys who will walk into golden situations and absolutely blow it because of a cell phone or excuses or one of a million things. And that's the thing, it's always different, it's always evolving, they're always excusing their own laziness. First off, Wallaby John, I'm gonna miss you. everybody be more like Wallaby John. So let me tell you why I am so comfortable talking shit about average. You may have heard on my videos, you may have seen me write it, fuck average. That's pretty much my saying. That's pretty much my belief system. It's not even a saying, it is a way of life. So I am so comfortable with that, with this whole fuck average idea, because of this. I used to be average at best. I used to take this whole PDR thing like it was just some 9-to-5 job I had to clock in and clock out of. And for the first quite a few years, that's what it was. I was working in an industrial manufacturing plant where they produce cars. So yeah, that was that. But then once I decided to make the leap to get out of there, I felt like I was taking this huge step, quitting this really nice paying job to get out on my own, live a dream. Hey, that was a sacrifice. Kudos to me. Pat on the back. Now, after that, the grind was there, right? I'd go out, I'd try to get some stuff, but then I fell into this apathy thing where I had the accounts that I thought I wanted, I had whatever, maybe work 3 days a week, 4 if I was lucky, but definitely have plenty of downtime. I was extremely average. I was your average dent guy. Here's the problem with that. I was fucking miserable. I hated it. I hated being average. I hated thinking paycheck to paycheck. I hated living paycheck to paycheck. I hated all of that stupid fucking stress that comes along with being 99% of the people out there. One day, I don't know, I was probably watching a Sal Contreras video if I had to take a wild guess here, and I was seeing some of the repairs this man was doing. I was just like, holy shit. I didn't even know that was possible. I didn't even know it was a thing. Here I am. I don't even really like dent repair at this point. It is just the thing that I do. That was probably 7-8 years into my career. I'm now at 15. And something clicked. And I started to realize I'm a competitive guy. I am killing myself with average. I want to be the best at something. No matter what it is, I want to be the best at it. That's just my personality. That is the day that I start whipping it on. That is the day that I start really trying to learn, trying to perfect the skill, gain some kind of mastery that I could be proud of. And it was a grind. Now let me tell you this. The thought that changed my life, the best piece of advice I could give to all you average dent techs, all you excuse makers, all you crybabies, honestly, find your happiness in the pursuit of this thing. I still chase my heroes. Bryce Kelly, man, the dude blows my mind. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he looks at the world not having, in my opinion, a dent guy to chase. I love chasing Bryce Kelly. I love seeing a repair that he does, and then I can't wait to get that repair in. That's where I find my happiness. And you know what? I don't give a shit about the money anymore. I will throw away opportunities to go make tons of money doing hail because I don't enjoy hail. I don't hate it, but it's not what I love to do. It's all about the pursuit now, and I have never been more at peace about my job since I gave up the clock in, clock out, 9 to 5, make my money, go home kind of attitude. So find your happiness in the pursuit of this thing. And I guarantee you that the money's gonna follow. If you can become the best, one of the best, whatever your case is, in your market, people will find you. You have developed an extremely marketable skill. You have put yourself out there enough. You have said yes to enough gnarly shit that now people are starting to recognize, holy shit, this guy is really good at this job. They're gonna find you. They're gonna bypass every average fucking tech out there, and they're gonna find the guy that's got these incredible before and after pictures, who's always there, who's got 5-star ratings, his customer service is amazing. That's who they're gonna find, because that's who they're fucking looking for. A lot of you aren't gonna take that advice. A lot of you are gonna sink into average. A lot of you are gonna be happy at average. And you know what? That's important too. Find your happy place. My happy place is working all day at the shop and the business that I built, 5,000 square feet. I want more. I go home and I make these videos until 6 in the morning sometime. It makes me happy. Not everybody can maintain that. And it's probably stupid to try, but that's my happy place. The income is secondary. It finds me. It still blows my mind. I love dents now. After I made that mind change, man, I really love doing dents. I really enjoy making these videos. People pay me for what I love to do, and it's crazy. It's absolutely psycho. But find something that you love. I hope it's PDR. Fall in love with PDR. Try to be the best at this, and the money's gonna find you, I promise. So awesome, you took my advice. You tried real hard. You tried real hard for 6 months. You failed at a few things. You failed at some stuff. Well, Jim Mitchell's an idiot. Well, he doesn't know my circumstances. Listen to me. If you just thought that in your head, you think, oh, I tried as hard as I could, but he doesn't know my circumstances. You are exactly the person I'm talking about. You're the person who needs this video more than anything. Did you learn anything while you failed along the path? I am not saying that trying hard is going to prevent some failure. I'm saying that continually trying hard, continually putting everything out there is what will eventually prevent failure. Don't be apathetic. Don't be a person who makes an excuse for everything. Be the guy that you see yourself being. So, you want to be a millionaire hail chaser. Well, what the fuck are you doing right now? Right now. To be a millionaire hail chaser. What are you doing? Coming up with marketing material? Developing a game plan for next year and the year after that? Setting goals? If you're not going to be, I promise. You want to own 5,000 square feet of retail shop. What are you doing right now? What are you learning? What skill are you building to do that? If the answer is nothing, hey, well, tough shit. It's not going to happen for you. If you're scared of what will happen if you make mistakes, it's not going to happen for you. You've got to push through all of that failure because there's going to be a lot. I've had a lot myself. You've got to be willing to get up off your ass, get rid of every excuse that you have come up to be average. You're giving yourself excuses to be average at best, like I did. Stop. That's loser shit. You don't need that. Get off your ass, do something right now. You wanna know what the real sad truth behind all of this is? That the people who need to hear this the most, the people who this would benefit the most, are gonna ignore this video. Guarantee it. The people who would benefit from the most from taking this one piece of advice that is so important to me because I almost screwed it up, are gonna excuse themselves from having to. What's gonna happen is people who pretty much live this life anyway are looking for ways to improve themselves. Those are the people who are going to be like, damn, Jim's right. There's time in the day. What am I doing? I'm wasting it right now. TV. I still don't watch TV to this day. I think of all the things that I could be learning, the new skills that are going to benefit my life in the future. This is your life. You spend, well, if you're anything like me, you spend 2/3 of your time working, but you could and you should very easily spend half of your damn time working. What your work provides is the income, where you live, where you drive, what your family eats, for the love of God, how your family lives, where your kids go to school. Listen, 99.3% of my viewers are men, so I'm talking to you guys. This is your damn duty. If you're getting into PDR and you want to make this your career and you are half-assing this thing, you're letting your family down. I was letting my family down. I remember there was a time in my life when I legitimately had $5. $10 for me, $10 for my wife, ex-wife at the time. So I had to choose between pack smokes and eating. And my mom wasn't making smokes, but she was making food, so I went with the smokes and I sponged off my mom for a week or so. And during that time, watched a bunch of TV, played a bunch of Xbox. Oh shit, what else did I do? Went to work the bare minimum that I had to. Wasted a bunch of time, sponged off my mother, let my family down because I wasn't willing to give extra of myself, to put myself in a position to succeed because, man, that's hard work. What if I do all this and I fail? Well, you're already failing, so that doesn't really matter. And if you're afraid of hard work, well, pretty much you're gonna fail. So I was almost this guy, and I think people like Sal. Sal didn't give a shit about me. Sal didn't know my name then. Well, guess what? Sal knows my name now. He didn't make a dent repair video expecting to change a dude's life. It was just another dent to him. But it was that click, it was that thing, that snap that I was like, son of a bitch. I'm wasting it. I lucked into PDR. I didn't even know what PDR was when I got on the PDR team in the factory. I am wasting this thing that I can do, and I know if I applied myself, I could do it well. Because I'm afraid of hard work. I was afraid of rejection when I was still getting accounts. And I was an idiot. I hope the way, I'm assuming it was probably Sal, that's who I was watching. I'm hoping the way that Sal's video turned me around. I'm hoping for one person. If this turns one person's next 8 years of their career around, I can't wait to hear about it. I hope it does that, and all the time I put into this is going to be worth it. So it may not come as a surprise to any of you that I don't really storyboard out these videos real well. What I'll do is kind of let it tell itself on the way. So what started out as a video that was exclusively going to be about failure and how you handle it kind of evolved. And let me tell you why. It's because people who eventually become successful, people who put in hard work, people who aren't afraid of hard work, are generally the people that have a better relationship with failure. Failure scares me. I don't like failure. Failure sucks. But I also know that every single flipping time that I have failed lately, I've taken something from that. That orange door that this video started out with, that tip that I learned from Woody, because I was failing my ass off, really just not getting anywhere with it, I used twice a day. 2 separate doors. Worked fabulous. Woody's still an idiot, but he had a good tip. You can't be resistant to this kind of shit, man. Change your mind and change your freaking life. Like, I think Casper was the one that told me that. That's what it is. If I meet you, generally within 10-15 minutes of chit-chatting with you, if I let you get a word in because I talk too damn much, I'll know pretty much what you're about, and I will have drawn myself a conclusion about who the hell you're going to be and who you are. The guy that reaches out to me and says, hey Jim, I can't get this dent because of this, and this. Well, you already defeated yourself, dude. I spend an exorbitant amount of time answering questions like that because I want to be there for you new techs, for your subscribers, non-subscribers, just people who are on YouTube watching. I want to be there for people. But man, I swear that I will give you much less attention if you start your damn question out with I can't, because you just said I can't and here's my excuse why, so please give me permission to be average and not succeed at this. You don't need my permission to be average. You don't need my permission to succeed. There's case studies on that. Look around. Look at somebody who hasn't succeeded. Ask him about that dent. Jim, how do I? Hey, that's going to get a little bit more attention than Jim, I can't because, and by a little bit, I mean like 1,000%. You can if you stop giving yourself excuses. Now think about the word excuses. So when you bump into somebody at the grocery store, you say, excuse me, right? Which basically means, hey, please separate me from all blame of bumping into you. I did it, but I don't want to be blamed for it, so please excuse me. That's a pretty bold thing to ask. Please excuse me. Please allow me to get off scot-free for settling for average. No. You don't need my fucking permission. If you want to give me an excuse, you're excused already. Don't even send the email. If you want to give me an excuse instead of work with me to help find a solution that fits you, don't bother. You're excused. I don't care. It's not important to me. Not important to my life. At the very beginning of this video, as a matter of fact, I would like to correct myself. I said I didn't repair this dent because I had personal things going on. Wrong, sir. I didn't repair that dent because I didn't use the ample amount of time that I had to repair that dent wisely. Everything else is just an excuse. That's what it was. My personal shit was the reason that I felt compelled to give you an excuse, right? So I am to blame for that not being done appropriately. At the last minute, I was trying to clean stuff up until 12:30 in the freaking morning. My bad. Absolutely. I need to learn from that. You don't need an excuse to be average. But I surely fucking hope you find a reason to be more than that. Okay, to the fella who said that I should feel more free to rant more often, you know who you are, I won't call you out by name. Well, there you go. Hope that was good enough. Thank you. If you have made it to the 36 minute mark of this video, I can guarantee you are one of the ones who are going to succeed. Half of the people watching this video cut off at the 5-minute mark. Think about that. Half didn't want to hear it. How many people are average? You know why they call it average? Because most people are. Strive to be better. Forget your excuses. And fuck average.